Hi guys, we're going to be looking at Ray Bradbury's Sound of Thunder. So if you can just grab that from your pile of stuff I gave you in the lesson, you'll want the extract and the questions. If you want to grab that and just pause this, I'll see you in a sec. Okay, hi. So tip number 1 is, ideally, before the time starts, look at the front of the booklet. Because, for example, going back a few exams, when it was the one about the girl who goes on a bus, who works in a hat shop, it was called The Tiredness of Rosabelle. And loads of people, struggle with reading, whatever, didn't really pick up on this idea of tiredness, and that was a really, really key thing. So please, can you jot down in your revision to have a look at the title of your extract, and also when it was written, and potentially just drawing any clues from that, because a bit like, who was Rosabelle? What issues are facing women in 1908? Potentially, like, you might even be able to think about the genre of the text. So this one is Sound of Thunder. So what might that mean? I have borrowed this PowerPoint from Twitter, because it was better than the one I was making. We were just going to skiffle through a few slides. Right, so what I've got for you here is what AQA have suggested. Are you ready? Look, so this is your paper 1. You've got question 1, list 4 things. Question 2, use of language. Question 3, structure. And question 4, you've got that kind of essay, to what extent do you agree? And the colours show you how you're being assessed. So question 1 is AO1, retrieval. Question 2 and 3 are AO2, so analysing use of language and structure. And question 4 is being able to evaluate, being able to weigh up what you've got and discuss in like a little essay. And then you've got all this already, but like, just thought I'd show it to you again, maybe you've lost it. There's some timings suggested by HQA, which are like here. Alright, so feel free to like screen grab that, I'll just have a look at them. You've got, it's an hour and 45 minutes, so again, you've got like 15 minutes from your hour sort of reading time. It's there. And then the 45 minutes to answer, and then your question 5 should be 45 minutes. So suggested would be, I think you can do it quicker than this. I think you can probably read it and answer question 4 in probably about 10 minutes, which then buys you time for later on. Question 2, 10 minutes. Question 3, 10 minutes. I'd push those to 12 probably. If you've bought yourself some time. But please, I really would make a note on the front of your page about your timings, because you'll do this classic where spend loads of time here, and by the time you get into these heavily weighted questions, and you're running out of time, and that's the last thing you want to do. I would suggest with this one just going chronologically through, so just going through the questions as you see them. Another little tip would be when you get in the exam and you've looked through, you've looked at the title, etc. Just seeing, I would, tip number 2 is write your timings down. Tip number 3 is, I just have a quick look through the questions, because I would struggle to read a massive piece of text without knowing what it's about. And so just, again, looking for clues and getting your head around some of the questions before you even read it. Don't worry if people are writing. Don't worry about that. And also other teachers say, like, read the first bit, answer the question, read the next bit, answer the question. That is one way of doing it. However, again, going back to the Rosabelle one, when it was, I'm sure I've said this probably 100 times, what does it suggest? Why is it misty? It was misty because the use of pathetic fallacy is showing how horrible her day was. However, 50% of people were like, oh, maybe it's gothic, maybe it's spooky. No, it's not. And so I think if, you know, looking at that, if you work through the paper in pieces, you don't get the full picture. You're a clever bunch, you can do it. So if you've not done it already, read the extract now. Feel free to jot down any ideas as you're reading. Maybe read it once all the way through, and then maybe read it again and just jot down annotations. We've tried this in class. We average out between about 9 minutes and 12 minutes, okay? So, and maybe worth, again, you know, at home, just time yourself now doing it. How long does it take you? What are your timings in the exam? Okay. Right, so if you've done that, question 1, source 1 to 9, again, I'll probably draw a little box around it just to make doubly sure you kill yourself if you've answered something from the wrong place. I mean, it's a bit dramatic, probably won't kill yourself, but be a little bit cross. Yeah, and it happens, okay? So just 1 to 9, pause this, 5 minutes. See how you get on. Go. Okay, here are your questions. Here are your answers. Spoiler alert, spoiler alert. So you could say any of these things. Now, being that I am a bit of an AQA geek, I found this. No, I found this. So this is the mark scheme. I just thought it was really weird because this year, what they've done, they've said what you can say. You're allowed to paraphrase and call them tall trees. There's pterodactyls that are in the air. There were pterodactyls. You're allowed to say that, but you can't say anything about flying tents. So I just thought I'd show you that. That is, you know, what examiners use to mark. This is what you are allowed. You are allowed to paraphrase. But once again, it has to be rooted. The question, make sure you'd underline that keyword. Your question was 4 things about the jungle. Okay? Again, just treat that paper so carefully. Just underline your keywords. Underline and highlight those key sections. Just, you know, just iron out any tiny little mistakes. There's no problem being just overly cautious. Okay? So if you've done that, you can move to question 2.